Today for a health nugget, we're going to learn about something very special that is actually not even in the books of universities on science and things like that. So this is going to be something new. And probably some of you have heard of it before. And we're going to learn more about our chromosomes and our DNA and our cells. And we understand, we had different health nuggets before, and we were talking about how there's a cause and how there's an effect to different things that happen in our life. Like many times we're like, why am I so sick? Why am I feeling so tired? Why I lack so much energy? Why I cannot focus? Why my mental clarity is not the way that I wanted it to be? And we just struggle, and we see people struggling, and we see how in the world that there is a huge health crisis right now, because when we look at the information online, different studies, we see that billions are dying because of different diseases. Like with heart disease, every 30 and 40 seconds there's somebody that's dying from heart disease, and there's thousands of people dying from obesity, like 700,000 people, and 10 to 15% of pregnancies end in miscarriages. And we see this over and over and over, things that people are really struggling. And also with diabetes, there's millions of people that are just having more diabetes every year. And even children are being born already with those symptoms that of diabetes and obesity. And it's like, what are we gonna do? What is going on in our world? Well, there's really three factors that really affect our health, and that is stress, toxins, and lack of proper nutrition. And you can click the other screen. Yes, perfect. So stress, toxins, and lack of proper nutrition. And we're gonna learn why that is important. And of course, God has given us the 8 laws of health that we can follow, and we're gonna look more into them in case you don't know them. But so God has given us these laws so that we can actually enjoy of proper health. But these 3 factors are really what's making the world to have the results, the horrible results of this health crisis that even you may be suffering from in some degree of another. So let's understand more of why these factors are really the ones that are affecting our health. So like Job 29 says, let's search out the cause when we don't know. So here in this picture, we see how this is actually our skin, okay? And in the skin, we have a nucleus. I mean, in every cell of the body. So our bodies are pretty much made of like 100 trillion cells. So we have lots and lots of cells. Our bodies are so miraculous. God has truly created an amazing machinery. And each of those nucleus, they have chromosomes, and they look like an X. And in the tips of those chromosomes, like you see, the ones that are now golden or yellow, those tips of those chromosomes are very, very important. Like you would say something so little, but actually, as we're going to learn about it, we're going to see that because of those little tips, that all these problems that we see in the world is happening. And if we understand more about the tips of these chromosomes, we're going to be able to actually see, hey, how can we change the results? We understand the root, and now we can change our results. So the tips of these chromosomes are called telomeres. And those telomeres, they can actually shorten. And imagine like those are kind of like your shoelaces. Like you have shoelaces, and with time, like that plastic kind of wears out, and then the ends of your shoelaces, they begin to fray, and they begin to shorten, and they just don't function like they're supposed to. And the same thing is happening with those telomeres. Those telomeres, we are born with a certain length of those tips, like 15,000 bases. So that's the unit that they measure it. So we're born with 15,000 bases. This is the length. And with time, well, actually not with time, but with the factors that I was talking to you before, like stress, toxins, and lack of proper nutrition, those telomeres get shorter and shorter and shorter. Now, why is this important? How does that affect our body? Now, first of all, chromosomes are made up of DNA molecules. And this is very interesting because our DNA, what is our DNA? Isn't that our foundation? Isn't that what determines how our body functions and what it does, and the color of our hair, and how long we're gonna live, and all kinds of stuff, like especially just how our body functions. And that when those telomeres, those caps of the chromosomes, get shorter and shorter and shorter, that's why we see that we lack energy, we start lacking energy, we have problems with weight, we lack mental clarity. There's all kinds of diseases that are starting to breed. Why? Because the shorter they get, that means that's like aging. You're aging. Your cells are aging. And once those telomeres get to a certain length of 500 bases, we die. That's the end. And this is very interesting. So this reminds me also of the verse in Psalms 11 verse 3. It says, if the foundations be destroyed, what can the righteous do? So yes, many times we believe, well, aging, it just happens and there's nothing you can do about it. It's just something that goes on in life. Yes, that is true. But what we're seeing today is unhealthful aging. But God has created us, well, not actually to age, but we are not supposed to age unhealthily. We're supposed to age healthfully, youthfully. So I want to give an illustration about a manual so that we can understand more of the importance when those telomeres get short. So let's imagine we have this manual. When we are born, we have this manual, and this manual has everything that our body needs to know. Like all the information is written in there. It's kind of like when you buy a car, everything about the car is in there, is in that manual. So let's say that as we have this manual, so our body can read it, but then there's stress in our lives, and then those pages are starting to be ripped off more and more. And then there's lack of proper nutrition. Those pages are being ripped off. Lack of proper nutrition, where do we get it? Well, from the stores, even our foods. The soils are so depleted. Even when we go to the grocery store and we want to buy some organic vegetables and fruits, still we're not getting the minerals and the vitamins and the fats, the amino acids, everything that we need. We're not getting it. And last week, Victoria was able to do this health nugget that was talking about the soil, how it is depleted, and our minerals how are just on the floor, like truly, like we see the graph and we see how that just the content, the mineral content in our foods went down so much with these years. So that lack of proper nutrition, we do get it, and our children are getting it. And like even like babies are born already with those problems. Like we see children already born with diabetes. And why? Because of that lack of nutrition that even the mother is just carrying on to her children. So also another factor is toxins, and toxins, we're just surrounded by toxins everywhere. Our water is full of heavy metals and chemicals, and our foods are sprayed with pesticides and herbicides, even organic foods. Now they have different regulations. They're not what we thought they were. And our air is full of toxins, all those different industries that are just polluting our air, and then the chemtrails with the different planes that are just dropping so many toxins in our air. So yes, we are surrounded by all these things, but that's what happens. Like our manual is just becoming ripped, like pages and more pages are being ripped off. And what happens? Well, now you see, like I said, those babies that are being born with diabetes. We see young people, teenagers that are lacking mental focus, mental clarity, that they're always distracted. Their brain doesn't work as is supposed to. They lack energy. We see older people that the older they get, it's like even in their 30s or 40s, it's like it's so hard for people to like go up the stairs, to actually go exercise, to go have that fresh, that open air and sunshine. What is going on? Is that how we are supposed to live? I don't think so. And that is when we look at the foundation, our telomeres are getting shorter. But in Jeremiah 30:17, it says, "For I will restore health unto thee. I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith the Lord." So this is a beautiful promise. God says that he will restore health unto us, and he will heal us from our wounds. So does that mean that actually our telomeres can grow back? Does that mean that our DNA can be repaired? Yes, that's what it means. God has provided for us a way that actually we can repair our telomeres. God has given our bodies an ability to actually heal themselves when we give them the proper nutrition. And here we see that in 1994, the human telomere was discovered. Now this is different than telomere. The telomere is the cap of our chromosomes that when it gets shorter, we really get in trouble. And then the telomere is an enzyme that actually makes our telomeres to grow back, to lengthen. And this is so beautiful how God was able to create this enzyme so that that can be activated in our bodies and that it can help our telomeres grow. And then in 1997, it was discovered how to activate it, turn it on in human skill cells. And this is Bill Andrews that actually discovered this. He's a scientist, and since he was like 12 years old, he wanted to be a geneticist. He wanted to understand the DNA and the telomeres and all these things about aging. So then he spent years and years and years researching, and he found the telomere that could actually lengthen our telomeres. And in 2009, this research, telomeres, won a Nobel Prize in science. And this is very interesting. So we see how amazing our bodies are made, that the telomeres can actually grow back. And how can we actually make sure that our telomeres can grow back and actually lengthen? How can we activate that enzyme? Because we see there's so much stress that we experience, there's so much lack of proper nutrition and so many toxins around us. So when we look at the 8 laws of health, and that's the last slide after that one, yes. When we look at the 8 laws of health, we see godly trust, open air, daily exercise, sunshine, proper rest, lots of water, always temperate, and nutrition. Now when we look at all these things, actually when we follow these are the doctors, these are what are going to activate that enzyme that God put in our body to lengthen our telomeres back. Godly trust, it's taking care of that stress that we go always through life. It's like God is asking us to just leave that aside, to leave those cares, and to take his yoke, because his yoke is easy, his burden is light. So let's remember, let's learn how to trust in God and to have the faith so that we can actually help our bodies to become healthier again. And then by that, we're going to be able to choose to just go out and exercise in the open air and to receive that sunshine. And then we'll be able to receive the proper rest. We'll be able to learn how to drink more water and to be temperate. This is so important also. And the nutrition, cleansing, it really allows your body to heal itself and for your telomeres to grow back. Every time you fast, if you decide to fast like 1 day a week, that's going to make a huge difference, because that means that your body's going to have a rest. Your body's going to be able to get rid of those toxins that you have been accumulating for so long. When was the last time you fasted? So I would encourage you, just choose 1 day a week, or 2 days a month, or something like that, so that your body can actually get rid of those toxins. And that's going to make a huge difference. And with your nutrition, there's many things that we can start doing that it could actually help us grow our little gardens. I know maybe some of you are in a city. That's okay. I would encourage you to research of different ways on how you can actually have a little garden in your own apartment, in your house, in your little parcel. There's a way. When there's a will, there's a way. And you can teach your children, you can learn how to till the soil. And with that, you're going to be able to learn so many object lessons. You're going to be able to have true food that you can actually enjoy for your body. And your body can heal. And your telomeres can grow back. And you can be strong and healthy. And the DNA can be healed. So that's what I wanted to share with you today.